So we are going to be looking at a scenario where civilization starts over. We are on episode 75, and it is the War of Democracy. If you did not know, inside of the last episode, we saw the Triangle Alliance declare war on the Circle Alliance, which, off camera, has actually expanded. Sorry, everybody. What you just saw was an accident, except for the Iran part. If you saw anything else out in Europe, that isn't really... It might happen, but, I have to re-record this, so... Yeah, sucks, but, I didn't like how this war turned out. Make sure to go check out community posts. But we do see the Persians joining up with the Circle Alliance, and this is because their ties with the Cypriots. But, we, do this in every video. We are on the road to 2,000 subscribers. We are, we are a sixth of a way there, I think. But we're very close. Make sure to like and subscribe. Pretty please. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into this scenario. Starting off in the Greek front, we actually see the Greeks pushing into Bulgaria. And, well, this is because, if you remember in the last episode, I don't know if I pointed it out, but the Red Italians and the Triangle Alliance actually took a little bit to declare war on the Circle Alliance. This is because the Red Italians, mainly, and the Triangle Alliance, put a bunch of troops on the border of Bulgaria. And, well, we see a push in from the Purple team and the Purple Greek team, as well as a small push in from the north. I guess all of Bulgaria's neighbors are purple, which is kind of weird, except for one. So, I guess this is a very purple, kind of purple-friendly country. But these guys did not put enough troops on the Cypriot border, and we see the Cypriots moving in to this purple team. We also see some trading up in this puppet state up here. The Cypriots mobilize inside of kind of these, urban farm areas, I think. I don't know if these are, farmable areas. While the Red Italians have pushed and taken the full capital of the old Russian team. This capital is very important, and there isn't a reason why. It's just historic. But the Cypriots know that it is going to be very hard to supply this little puppet state because the Red Italians have, excuse my language, a way better, freaking way better air force than the Cypriots. It's kind of close, but the Red Italians would absolutely destroy destroy the Cypriots. So without help, without actual land connection up with this puppet state, they're not going to be able to really do much, as, well, both of these fronts almost completely, they do completely fail. So what we see happening is the Cypriot invasion of this green team right here. And, well, these guys, they're not really, I don't remember if they're democratic. I don't think they could be, but I don't really care to look. They're not in the DU, I know that, but they're absolutely getting destroyed by the Cypriots, who get their capital taken, and then they just take the whole country. They pretty much just keep the country. It's the same country, but it's pretty much ruled by the Cypriots. And now that there's land connection up with this puppet state, we see the Cypriots fully pushing back the Red Italians. And, well, pretty much taking the capital city and starting to invade into some areas around their border. The Greeks are still pushing around to this area, creating a small spearhead. But the Bulgarians are pushing back against this front line here. And now are moving in to the Greek country. They also managed to make a slight pushback against what even is this country? The Serbians? Yeah, the Serbians. And, well, if you remember, the DU is an attack one, attack all. And, well, although the Triangle Alliance did start this, unlike NATO, also do ignore all the countries that are black, like Germany. If you remember, I had to re-record this. So some of the stuff happened, like Finland, black. These guys, black. These guys, I need to fix so much stuff. These guys are supposed to be in the Triangle Alliance. And let me real quick fix all the DU members. Okay, I have roughly fixed it. I think everything is good again. I'm sorry about that. Do note that all of the DU is now inside of this war, but that doesn't mean they're all going to do stuff, and this is kind of because the Red Italians didn't really fulfill a lot of the stuff they had to do. So for the most part, we're going to be ignoring the DU layer, but just know that. The Cypriots finally make a small push into this blue Turkish country, But these guys, if you remember last time we did the rankings, these guys were on there. These guys are the 17th strongest country in the world. So you do not want to mess with the Turks, but they are pushing in a little bit. Over in the Russian puppet state, we still see the Cypriots winning, capturing this full border with the pink team. We then see an encirclement happening up over in the north, capturing a lot of red Italian troops. But more than anything, it captured a lot of Latvian troops because Latvia had put a lot of their troops inside of this puppet state. And, well, that kind of makes Latvia mad because the red Italians kind of didn't really help with that. But not going to do anything. As well, the Cypriots continue to push into the puppet state, continuing to take more and more stuff. The Bulgarians fully push out this northern purplish team and begin their offensive into it, capturing a lot of land very quickly. These guys, the Bulgarians, they're definitely in the top 10 if they weren't already. Yeah, they're strong, pushing up and connecting up with this red team border. And, well, soon enough, we just see the capturing of the purple team's capital. The Cypriots, seeing an advantage, they go ahead and sweep the rest of this red Italian puppet state border from the purple team. The rest is just going to submit to the Bulgarians. But we now see a movement in on both sides of the red Italian puppet state. And, well, this encirclement falls through. And, well, the red Italians, they're actually kind of losing this war, at least over in Russia, because all of their puppet state is going to fall over to the Cypriots. It is now fully a full Cypriot puppet state. And, well, now, we actually see someone new joining up in this war, and it's actually the French. And if you did see, I kind of leaked this, earlier in the video. But, yes, the French did join, well, in the last recording I did, and they're going to join in this one. These guys have always hated the red Italians. They've pretty much hated everyone. They've hated a lot of people, and, well, they've lost land to the Lime team. They've lost land to the Brittany team. And, well, they're just tired of it. Although they are democratic, they hate the red Italians. They will never forgive them. So French troops are going to start moving into the Lime team, and they capture a lot of land very quickly. They aren't really focused on the Lime team. They are more focused on distracting the red Italians, so that way the Bulgarians and the Cypriots can get through and take Rome. And that is what they do. They set up and, well, just start invading into this old Lime team part of the red Italians. And, well, they're doing good, and they actually managed to take all of it, and that's pretty bad because this area is pretty dang populated. The red Italians have lots of reserves, though, and, well, they just send them out and start taking back a lot of this land, and, well, they move it back to about here before the French set up defensive lines. And, well, now the French are moving into Brittany yet again for the second time in, I don't know about a long time, but they get reduced down to just Brittany. The Polish arrive at this border right here, and they start re-liberating parts of this purple country, but are stopped right here because, well, they're sending more troops down over to this front line over here and over to this front line. Speaking of this, the Bulgarians have just made an encirclement of the Greeks, and, well, now the Greeks are running for their lives as all of this front line breaks. And, well, now the Bulgarians are flowing into Greece. The Turks are now fully pushed back against the Cypriots, which is pretty big, and now they're pushing in to the Cypriots. And, well, because of this recent, I guess, circle team success in pretty much all of their fronts besides, well, this one and this one, we get a new team joining up, and it is actually going to be this Finnish team up here. These guys are one of the few inside of Europe who is not a democracy. They hate all of their neighbors, so why not invade them? They start off with this country right here, moving in, but these guys actually have a pretty good military, and they get stopped about here. No worries, they'll invade into this pink team, and we'll capture the capital, and, well, this is actually a very good success, taking over the whole thing very quickly. They then move into the actual Finnish team, and, well, they don't get that far, kind of like, they get into the country, but not that far. And, well, Sami just took your capital, and now your government is just cuckoo. But don't worry, we can hold out for a little bit longer. Nope, the French are pushing back against the, well, I guess Brittany's pushing back against the French. The Polish and the Germans have just arrived, and now they push back the French. I guess kind of like the French, what would this country be? Andorra is going to go ahead and push up and, well, kick out the French. Andorra then is going to move into the French. Brittany is as well moving into the French and, well, taking over a lot of land and, well, maybe even the capital, which is just a little bit. Some Italians just arrived and they managed to kind of push back against the Bulgarians. But now the Serbians are running for their lives. And now the Bulgarians are absolutely destroying the Serbians. Like, there's nothing to be saved here. The capital taken, and, well, the whole country falls. The Scottish say screw it and go ahead and move their troops. And, well, they just take the rest of this Norwegian country. Which these guys were a part of the DU. Yeah, they're a part of the DU. Which now brings Scotland into this war. So just give them a nice little cool circle. And the Scottish are actually unable to move into this black... What color is this? This gray team or this purple team for some reason. But they do manage to make a landing inside of this teal Danish team and, well, take it all. Also make small movements and, well, they just capture the whole Danish peninsula. Unable to move into Copenhagen, though. Well, it turns out this Cypriot land inside of Turkey, the civilians are kind of done being ruled underneath the Cypriots. And, well, the Cypriots kind of had a rule where if your little town got invaded, you're supposed to help the troops fight. Yeah, the people are now fighting the troops. Yeah, it's kind of bad. So bad that this part of Istanbul falls. It fells. Yep, it fells. And the Cypriots go over to the Persians and say, hey, can you send troops over here? And they do. And then the civilians kill them. So, yeah, the Persians are not super happy about that. Even worse, Kuwait is rebelling away. Do know that these colors are the same country. But, yeah, Kuwait is rebelling away along with some parts of Qatar. These guys are done being ruled underneath the Cypriots. And now, yeah, they just pretty much have all of their old land back. And, well, they're just going to chill out right here. The Persians are going to attempt to retake this land, but they're going to fail. And now the French have pushed back the Andorra. Now they are pushing into Andorra once again. The Austrians make a small push into the French team. Now we actually see Ireland join in on this war, and, well, they go ahead and sweep the rest of Ireland. Wales, sensing a weak little Scotland, it's also going to make a small invasion, but there was a lot more Scottish troops on this border than the Welsh thought, so they are unable to move into the rest of Scotland. They are able to take back this old little exclave that they had. But that's it for the British Isles for now. The Bulgarians have made a breakthrough and now are beelining it down the Aegean Sea and just moving through, taking over this Athens area, and then taking over these southern Spartan islands. Actually, I don't even think this is an island. But the Greeks are getting absolutely destroyed by the Bulgarians. More areas inside of Turkey are still flocking over to the blue Turkish control. These guys are done, like I said, being ruled underneath Cypriot control. So they're going to the blue Turkish team to get away from the Cypriots. And soon enough, we actually see a massive encirclement taking place with quite a bit of Cypriot troops in here. Well, this Lime team is now moving back into their old territory. The people here want to be rescued by the Lime team, and, well, it's happening. These guys are taking back their Caspian Sea coastline. They get about here before a Cypriot defensive line is set up. And, well, from all this kind of just freedom down in Turkey, Crimea, the Ukrainians inside of Crimea are revolting away, and it's not just really Ukraine, it's just this whole area. As well, we see in all these areas get cut off. And now we see it moving around this area. And pretty much all of these areas declare their independence underneath the new Republic of Ukraine. And so we see this new republic moving around, and they start just destroying the Cypriots. A lot of the Cypriots have lost morale at this point, and there's nothing much they can do. The Italians are now pushing back against the Bulgarians. And the Greeks are having a revolution, and it just took their capital. And soon enough, it floods the rest of the Greek nation. Greece leaves the war, and now the Red Italians are angry because they don't have connection up with Bulgaria. Bulgaria is actually going to give all of this land right here back over to Greece, but they are actually going to hold on to this part because they earned it. The Cypriots are now pushing back in the Serbian area, actually managing to take back the capital of Serbia. But then it just fully gets taken back by the Bulgarians. Brittany manages to fully push out the French. Andorra does too. The French have collapsed. But one more country is going to get involved in this war, and well, they're not really on anyone's side. Yeah, you want to know why the Iberians kind of left the Triangle Alliance and didn't join the DU? Well, they are now a Renaissance country, and they are now full sending their troops in to this Andorran country, who had no troops down in their south, and their capital gets taken. Spain or Iberia, told these two, if you try to attack me, you're dead. So they're not going to try that, and instead, the government of Andorra is just going to go ahead and collapse. Iberia is the new Renaissance nation on the block, and they want to restore the old Iberian Empire and regain all lost lands. They get about here before the Red Italians swarm into the spot and take the rest. Over up here, we see Norwegian citizens rebel away from the Scottish, and well, they just go ahead and retake back this old land, as well as invade into this Scottish puppet state with the help of the rest of the Scandinavia, the Red Italians, Polish, Germans, and the fact that Scotland is kind of weak right now. We also see the Norwegians making a landing inside inside Iceland, and they take back pretty much all of their old claims of it. They also go ahead and start reliberating parts of the Danish peninsula, but they just go ahead and take it all. Like, they're not keeping it, but they just color it their own color for some reason. Revolution inside of Iberia ends with the capital being just taken immediately. Breaking news: the Cypriots have just lost control of pretty much all of Turkey. And well, guess who's rebelling? Rebelling again. The Iraqs are, and they're actually in the right spot this time. Iraq, some of the original Iraqs, who are descendants of the old Iraqi Empire, are rebelling, and well, they want to reform the old Iraqi Empire. They get about all of this before they go ahead and well start invading into Cypriot land, which the Cypriots, they're not doing so good. The Cypriot Empire has collapsed for the second time in history, and now it is very bad. Like, we don't even need to see, like, the rebellion stage. It just, like, poofs away. Poofly disappears. Which now means it's pretty much just down to Bulgaria inside of the Circle Alliance. And, well, the Bulgarians, they don't really want to fight this war anymore, so they're going to go ahead and peace out with the Democrats, officially ending the War of Democracy. And now let's look at the peace treaty. This treaty is going to be one of the most important in history because it's the most recent, and, well, it is going to be taking place up here in this capital city, which this capital city, I'm making up a name for it, Royal Pine. This capital city is called Royal Pine, and, well, it's called the Treaty of Royal Pine. And, well, I actually forgot to finish talking about this front, but this Finnish country did actually collapse. After Sami took their capital, they did not last long. Just thought I'd tell you guys that before the peace treaty happened. So we actually are going to be starting off the peace treaty up here, and, well, this pink team is back, and, well, they're going to be getting all of this land. It's kind of ugly, but I don't care. This blue team is going to get all of this land here. This Finnish team is going to get these two provinces right here. And Sami is going to be getting all of these provinces. So that Finnish country has been fully divided up, and now the Finnish borders look like this. We see Norway getting all of their southern parts back, and well, we see them moving their capital back down over here. This teal Danish country is actually going to go ahead and choose to go ahead and unite up with just Denmark, making this just Denmark again. I know the color is historic, but I'm actually going to change it to the teal one, and this is because the Germanic country below them is orange, and the colors are too similar. Do know that the teal one is not around. It's the orange one that still is, the one that was a part of the Scandinavian Union. But, I'm just going to color it the teal color. Over here, Ireland is going to take full control over all of Ireland. And, well, the Welsh actually get these two provinces out of this war, and that is because they didn't decide to take these provinces. France is pretty much completely divided up. The Blue Iberians take all of this, and, well, this is a lot of their old territory. They add some up over here near this major city right here, but really this is the majority of it. Brittany is going to take control of all of this, or the old French Union, which is now just Brittany. This purple team, or the Southern Dutch team, is going to get that province. Well, Austria gets all of these. Dias. Yep, Itzula Dias. The Lime team is going to take control of the rest of this land, and that is because, well, they lost their old capital, and now they're up north more. And these guys are going to put their capital right here. The Red Italians are actually going to gain no land in this war, and that is because they didn't really invade anything. Bulgaria, though, they go ahead and take this, and also these 2 or 3 provinces from the Greek team. This purple team is just going to become independent, and someone very familiar is back from this Greek rebellion. Well, if you have watched my channel and watched the previous episodes, which you very well should, go watch the other ones before you watch this. What are you still doing here? And, well, the Golden Greeks. Let me color it all in. The Golden Greeks are back. These guys were the first fascist nation inside of my world, and, well, now they're back. We'll see in the next episode if they're still fascist. The blue Turkish team, they gain these 2 provinces, as well as Crete and these Aegean Sea islands. We have a new yellowish team right here popping up. The very old Turkish team is back in its actual original spot. We see a greenish country right there, and, well, a pink country right here. We see a kind of yellowish and another green country right there. We see Caucasia, but underneath a new government, and, well, a brown country up here. This green team gets all of their old lands back. Maybe a little bit less, but also it could be the same. I don't remember. It is less, but that's okay. And, well, I guess if you want to consider this copying, I guess you can. But we just have a Ukrainian country. I don't really care. I mean, it's kind of like Ada's Pro's one. But, yeah, it's not, it's kind of like my old Ukraine, but a different government, different color. I just like the gold here. It looks familiar. We see this cloudy blue team getting all of this land here. That's just because this was extra and they claimed it. A new teal team pops up here, and a new bluish country is going to pop up here. So that's like the northern Cypriot Empire divided up. Now let's look down over here towards the central and south. We see a new Syrian country popping up, and these guys are just going to be the Syria of this series. Iraq is back, and they actually have a lot of land. Kuwait has returned. Qatar gets all of their old land back, maybe a little bit more. We see this orange team popping up. We also see a kind of lighter green, which I'm going to change the color of this because it's too similar to this. It is now this color. And we have a kind of yellowish color right there. And that just leaves Cyprus. Well, we can actually remove this major city because it's not relevant anymore. Well, this island is going to be divided up 3 ways. This first area goes over to the Cypriots, which encases the capital city. We actually see the Bulgarians go ahead and puppet the rest. And, well, this is because although they did fight on opposite sides in this war, they still respect each other. Really, the reason Bulgaria is here is because of the Red Italians, and, well, although they're not going to ever see eye to eye, they still respect each other, even though they just fought a war. And, well, the rest of this is actually going to go over to the Egyptians, which is kind of surprising. But the Cypriot Empire has officially ended, the Cypriot saga has officially ended, and, well, they're gone. But now we need to talk about this. The Cypriots took control of it, but the Red Italians don't want it anymore. So I do want to note, this is not the same Russian country. I'm just going to be coloring them gray. But I'm going to be honest, these guys call themselves Russia, pretty much. But the only thing is, these guys are not ruled by royal family. The pink team is. So we'll have to see where this goes, but the Russians are back, I guess. I don't know if they're going to restore their whole empire, because there's a country called Japan, which has a crap ton of major cities for some reason. But these guys, yeah, they have Siberia. But that is really it. Iberia. I do need to talk about these guys, because these guys had a revolution. And, well, let's just say their old government may be back. Not saying that, but there's one more thing I need to talk about. All of these new countries are hurting right now. And, well, democracy is kind of hurting right now, too. Because of this war, the democratic countries lost a lot of money. So there will be some new democratic countries like Ukraine. But there is another ideology that's doing very good in the world right now. That's not fascism. Renaissadic. You little puppies, you three, may want to keep your eyes out for these new Middle Eastern and European countries. But anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe. On the road to 2,000 subscribers. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye. And a special thanks to our members, Laser Taze, Super Norby, Eddie, Gail Martinez, Green Team Mapping, PJ Likes Shadow, King Cheese, and Dark Mapping. Thank you guys.